Welcome to Trivia World. Today we are going to know 10 facts about the universe. Before we begin, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more. Number 1. When we stare at the sun, we're basically looking back in time by about 499 seconds. You know how sunlight takes around 8 minutes to hit us? Well, that's because light travels at a set speed, around 300,000 kilometers per second, and the sun is about 150 million kilometers away. So, when we're gazing at our nearest star, we're seeing it as it was a little over 8 minutes ago. Imagine if it suddenly disappeared, we wouldn't notice it for about 8 minutes and 18 seconds. And get this, the moon is roughly 1,282 light seconds away from us. So, when we catch its glow, it's like a time capsule journeying from 1,282 seconds ago. But the sun's light? Well, that's a whole other story. It takes more than 5.5 hours to travel all the way to Pluto. Number 2. Do you know that we have no clue about the exact star count in the Milky Way? But scientists figure it's somewhere between 100 billion to 400 billion. And get this, the Milky Way is just one of 140 billion galaxies out there, and some of them are massive. With so many stars hanging around, why not entertain the idea of at least a few million advanced civilizations chillin' out there? Number 3. Uranus is like the rebel of our solar system. Instead of spinning like the other planets, it's decided to do its own thing by rotating on its side. Its axis is almost horizontal, which goes against the norm in our solar system, and this rebellious move leads to some seriously wild seasons that mess with the planet's stability. Number 4. In space, there's like no air at all. It's basically just a huge vacuum, you know? And since sound travels through air, it can't go anywhere between stars and planets. Those epic space explosions you see in movies? Well, fun fact, the ones without any sound are actually the only ones that make sense scientifically. Movies are awesome for firing up our imaginations and getting us curious about stuff, especially science, but it's cool to chat with kids about what's real and what's just movie magic. That way, watching those crazy intergalactic action flicks becomes even cooler. You and your kiddo can chat about it loads and pick up some cool facts along the way. Number 5. You can't walk on Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They're all gassy planets, meaning there's no solid ground to stand on. So, our astronauts would have to get creative to explore these places. But hey, we can still check out awesome pictures of these planets. NASA shares tons of cool images on the. And get this, it's all free. They've got a calendar with new pics every day, so why not see what NASA posted on your little one's birthday? It's a super fun way to get kids curious about space and might even kick off a big adventure of learning more about the universe. Number 6. Did you know there are way more stars out there than grains of sand on all the beaches in the world? We don't know the exact numbers, but astronomers think our galaxy, the Milky Way, has somewhere between 100 to 400 billion stars. There could be billions of galaxies out there. So, the number of stars is basically endless. Number 7. Did you know the biggest volcano in the whole solar system is on Mars? Yeah, Mars might be small, but it's got this massive volcano that's a whopping 21 kilometers tall. It's called Olympus Mons, and it's almost the tallest mountain in the whole solar system. That record goes to the central mountain of the Rhea Silvia crater on this asteroid called Vesta, which is just a bit taller at 22 kilometers. You can actually check out Olympus Mons through a telescope if you've got one at home. It could be super cool for your little one. And if not, why not hop online together and search for some pics of this epic feature of our solar system? It's mind-blowing. Number 8. Check this out, a wedding ring got lost and later found in space. On the second day of the Apollo 16 lunar mission, the command module pilot, Ken Mattingly, realized he'd lost his wedding ring. The whole crew searched high and low throughout the spacecraft to find it. Finally, on the 9th day, it was spotted floating out the hatch while Mattingly was in the middle of a spacewalk. Another astronaut, Charles Duke Jr., saw it and tried to grab it, but missed. Luckily, it bounced off Mattingly's helmet, and Duke snagged it. Can you believe it? A tiny ring almost lost in the vast cosmic depths. By the way, people have left all sorts of things in space. There's even a toothbrush floating out there. Number 9. Check it out, Saturn's got these super thin rings that are mind-blowing. You've probably seen pictures of them. They wrap around the planet like a cosmic belt. But get this, even though they look solid and smooth from far away, they're actually made up of a gazillion tiny pieces of ice and rock, from itty-bitty dust to big old boulders. Number 10. Check this out, there might be more stars in the Milky Way than there are people who have ever lived. Imagine that. So, if you ask an astronomer how many stars are in our galaxy, they might give you different answers, like hundreds of billions or about 100 billion, 300 billion, 500 billion, you name it. But why the big range? Well, counting stars isn't as easy as it sounds. See, a lot of the Milky Way is hidden from our view, and even the parts we can see are so huge and far away that spotting individual stars is a real challenge, even with the fanciest telescopes. So, figuring out exactly how many stars are in the Milky Way involves a lot of guesswork based on observations and smart estimates. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Anthropologists, the folks who study humans, are pretty sure that about 110 billion people have ever lived on Earth. So, if you do the math, it looks like there are probably more stars in our galaxy than there are humans who have ever existed. Crazy, right? How many did you know? Let us know in the comments and subscribe for more.